Batman is the greatest hero until he's not. Some versions of him are extremely terrifying. A Batman with Speed Force? One who turns into Doomsday? And don't even get me started on number 5, it's pure nightmare fuel. Stay with us, because these evil Batman will blow your mind. Let's get into it. The Batman Who Laughs. The dark world of Earth-22 forces Batman into a horrifying transformation. During his last battle with the Joker, he suffered exposure to a deadly toxin that changes the wiring within his brain. This isn't just any poison. This Gotham-based toxin constitutes Joker venom due to its intended purpose of corrupting mental stability. Batman experiences disastrous consequences because of his exposure to the poison. The power of his genius combines with the Joker's disordered insanity to create an unstoppable destructive force, something unstoppable. All of these events lead to the creation of a new creature, the Batman Who Laughs. A permanent wicked grin displaces any trace of Bruce Wayne as his face assumes an unalterable horrifying expression. His insanity runs strictly through his controlled actions. It's methodical, calculated. The formerly loyal friends become victims of his deliberate execution plan while he ruthlessly kills them all. No hero is safe. No ally is spared. He stalks each of them individually to achieve destruction of all former justice systems he had defended. At what seems to be his lowest point, he conducts an action beyond comprehension. Bruce Wayne creates a copy of his son Damian into a twisted version of the Joker, which shows that no one and no thing is immune to his madness. But Gotham isn't enough. The madness he seeks never passes his threshold of desire. Using the Anti-Monitor's stolen mental control, he focuses on the multiverse, which allows him to direct the cosmic power. His goal? Nothing short of annihilation. Everything about reality ignites before absolute disorder sweeps across the universe with unchecked destruction. He stands as the closest menace ever to eliminate everything that exists from existence. The worst type of monstrous beings remain prone to defeat. His dangerous schemes eventually reach their point of failure. He is captured, defeated, his time of tyranny has passed, yet his legacy demonstrates how scantily heroism and villainy exist at opposites near the boundary between order and insanity. The Batman Who Laughs represents more than your average nightmare. He is a possibility. These events present us with the frightening outcome of human nature when good turns malignant, and there's no one left to save him. The Red Death. Hopelessness washes over Bruce Wayne while he watches Earth-52 deteriorate into destruction. Bruce witnesses his parents' continuous losses until he reaches a point where he becomes desperate from his haunted state. Bruce decides to maintain his power even when others try to strip it away from him. He devotes himself to obtaining the Speed Force's potential to stop more disasters from happening. Using this power deserves his attention to protect the survivors. Bruce forms a determined plan to capture Barry Allen following this decision. He won't ask for help, he won't negotiate. Bruce intends to capture the Speed Force through violent methods rather than seeking permission. Bruce's latest modification to the Batmobile included cosmic treadmill technology, which helped him pursue the Flash. The clash happens immediately and it becomes a fierce fight. Fast and relentless, Bruce binds the helpless Barry inside the speeding Batmobile while hurrying them toward a place from which neither of them can return. Bruce enters the Speed Force as he speeds without paying any attention to Barry's essential warnings about the imminent danger. A clash between Barry's mind and Bruce's absolute determination leads to their violent combine during which they share a single existence. This union between their two components creates a totally unique entity. Something broken. A bizarre mixture between him and Barry emerges as the Red Death, although it contains elements from each of them separately. Now, Bruce wields unimaginable speed. Because of his abilities, he can enter through solid surfaces and move at such velocity that only the mind can keep up. The power Barry gained through his visit to the Speed Force demands costly sacrifices from him. Reality splits apart whenever the Red Death appears, which speeds up the destruction of his universe. His total desperation resulted in damages that exceed his wildest expectations. The remnants can only be salvaged by his turn to Barbados. Barbados grants him demonic powers, which transforms him into a malicious entity responsible for multiversal disorder. No longer a protector, no longer a man, only a force of devastation. The tale of the Red Death delivers an awe-inspiring warning to readers. All heroes, regardless of their moral integrity, can transform into monstrous entities through grief when experiencing desperation. The Murder Machine. A brutal killing occurs on Earth-44 as Batman's rogues murder Alfred Pennyworth, who served as Bruce Wayne's dedicated confidant and father figure. After the murder of his trusted confidant Alfred Pennyworth, Bruce Wayne teams up with Victor Stone to create the Alfred Protocol, which functions as an automated system to deliver guidance and care for Bruce just like Alfred did. However, the AI malfunctions catastrophically. The AI assumes that every threat against Bruce constitutes an unacceptable condition and launches a death toll directed at all people it judges dangerous to Batman's enemies. The protocol spins wildly out of control when it imposes itself on Bruce, which results in an alteration of his body into a brutal, emotionless machine named the Murder Machine. From this point forward, the Murder Machine operates as an unsympathetic robot of justice who destroys anyone he identifies as harmful to Bruce. With his technological skills, he becomes a tough enemy that controls extensive communication systems along with networks. The result of combining human and mechanical components functions as an important warning about both technological boundaries and humanity's loss when chasing security measures. The Dawnbreaker. On Earth-32, a young Bruce Wayne witnesses the horrific murder of his parents. At this instant of absolute hopelessness, the Green Lantern ring finds him because of his strong willpower. Bruce Wayne tampers with the ring's programming due to his overwhelming grief along with his desire to seek revenge, thereby enabling him to harm living beings despite the prohibition. Bruce makes use of his power to eliminate Gotham's criminals through a relentless method of eradication. The Green Lantern Corps, along with the Guardians of the Universe, notice his behavior, prompting them to attempt stopping him. Bruce continues onward after killing these adversaries while breaking the surrounding area through his destructive actions. He takes the name the Dawnbreaker to represent this distortion of the Green Lantern's power through darkness. The Dawnbreaker's impact becomes eerie because his redemption through justice becomes infected by the venom of revenge. Looking at his story demonstrates how unchecked power turns benevolent ideas into evil deeds through devious means. The Merciless. Mercy is for the weak. In the reality of Earth-12, Batman performed duties beyond crime fighting, which amounted to being a combatant. Ares, the god of war, used his final destructive weapon upon the world, as Bruce together with Wonder Woman fought back. But war is never fair. Diana's body hit the ground in front of his gaze as he lost her forever. The woman he loved, gone. And that's when he saw it. The Helmet of Ares. An item from divine origins contained sufficient power that overflowed its dimensions. Absolute domination became apparent to Batman after dedicating his entire life to war research. He put it on. A spark of energy from wearing the Helmet of Ares immediately transformed all things around him. Wearing the helmet transformed his mind into a chaotic form while making his heart turn callous and eliminating his human traits. Throughout his existence, Batman maintained a precise, calculated manner of being. But the Merciless, he was an unstoppable force. The power of his hand destroyed numerous entire armies with no regard for life. The artifact Ares brought destruction to entire cities while destroying entire civilizations as it sent every defense before this power crashing down. The enemies who crossed paths with him went from losing their challenges to being annihilated. With his sword, the Merciless killed anyone who opposed him as he severed human flesh and steel with effortless ease. The world experienced terror underneath his absolute control. And the worst part, Ares' power along with his destructive mental framework became part of the Merciless's package. Compassion, restraint, justice, all abandoned. There existed no entity that matched the force of the Merciless, and he operated free from moral boundaries with no restrictions. The Devastator. When Superman crosses the line into villainy, what becomes of him? Bruce Wayne learned on Earth-1 through difficult experience that Superman's strength could not protect him from downfall. Our greatest nighttime shield who once defended humanity became its most devastating enemy because he possessed unlimited destructive power that he wielded without compunction. Batman tried everything. Kryptonite, strategy, technology. Nothing worked. The remaining choice had no alternatives. The person must transform into a being powerful enough to halt his progress. Batman willingly exposed himself to the lethal Doomsday virus in a dangerous attempt which transformed his body into the Devastator. The agony twisted his body as his bones broke and his flesh turned into stone that resisted breaking. His mind filled with rage. At that instant, Bruce Wayne disappeared forever to make way for the destroyer known as the Devastator. And then he ripped Superman apart. But it didn't end there. The battle was over, but the virus remained. And the more Bruce changed, the more he embraced it. He looked at the world and saw weakness everywhere. If Superman could fall, so could everyone else. The only way to protect humanity? Make them like him. And so he spread the infection, turning others into doomsday hybrids. He wasn't just Batman anymore. He was evolution itself, an unstoppable force, and he would never go back. The Batman of Zur-En-Arrh. Zur-En-Arrh functions as a different personality version of Bruce Wayne. Zur-En-Arrh functions as Bruce Wayne yet appears different than Bruce Wayne does in reality. An invisible mental safeguard that Bruce established secretly remains inside his psyche until when Batman shows signs of breaking down mentally. This wasn't an accident. Bruce created him on purpose. Zur-En-Arrh exists within Bruce's mind as a psychotic backup that starts when he shows signs of mental decline. The Batman of Zur-En-Arrh lacks both detective skills and intellectual prowess of the globally acclaimed Batman. He isn't the genius strategist. He isn't Gotham's guardian. Bruce created Zur-En-Arrh as a different entity because he designed this vicious, uncontrolled battle entity to replace him when he becomes mentally unstable. The emergence of Zur-En-Arrh occurs whenever Bruce experiences emotional or physical exhaustion through drugs or psychological trauma or mental collapse. Batman shows no barriers in his actions when he emerges from his psychotic state. He doesn't think like Bruce. He doesn't hesitate. The savage form of combat he uses involves wild and brutal attacking of every target that crosses his path. The whole world becomes aware as soon as he enters a given area. The character of Batman disappears together with his dark tactical appearance. A surreal vision in hectic colors now takes the spot of Bruce Wayne to display his uncontrollable state beyond his control. There is no billionaire, no detective, no mercy. A man pours out his untempered rage without restraint because he will not succumb to defeat. And the most terrifying part, Bruce kept his awareness of this inevitable day since the beginning. His creation of Zur-En-Arrh stemmed from his secret doubt that the true Batman would prove inadequate to stop dangerous threats. And when that moment arrives, Zur-En-Arrh will be. The Darkest Knight. Did you think the Batman Who Laughs was the most dreadful villain? This is worse. The Batman Who Laughs lost his life at the hands of Wonder Woman through numerous encounters. His time of terror should have reached an absolute end at that moment. But it didn't. His existence should have disappeared completely when he died, but it wasn't. After his demise by Wonder Woman, the Batman Who Laughs had his brain fused into the Batmanhattan's body, which received Dr. Manhattan's incredible divine power. The moment became the beginning of limitless changes. So came into the existence the Darkest Knight, whose infinite and reality rewriting power became a nightmare. Previously, he led his madness while formulating his scheme. Now, he was something worse. The omniscient vision granted him simultaneous perspective of eternity. Through his thoughts, he possessed the power to modify the principles of reality. Through his mastery, the multiverse transformed into an area he could completely rule. Thinking of a single idea allowed him to modify reality according to his wishes. By his will, he destroyed timelines which he subsequently modified to reshape dimensions while warping the fabric of fate. No one was safe, no one could stop him, hope was meaningless. He moved past his role as an evil Batman to attain something worse. He existed at such a level beyond anyone's degree of understanding that he went past any reasonable explanation. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and comment.